Hi, I'm Jen, and this is my booktube channel, Between Dragons and Pages. There is one video already on this channel, and it's from about a year ago when I unboxed a book that I will show you. I decided to get over my stage fright and book nerves and come back to you with the booktuber tag of 2025. I have notes. An unboxing, a book I purchased on the way home from work, and some books that have arrived throughout the year. So, bear with me. You'd think I'd know what I was doing. I have a crafting channel, but apparently sitting here and talking about books makes me feel very, very nervous and brand new all over again. So, why am I starting this channel? I want to talk and engage with like-minded book people. I have one friend who's obsessed with books and she's an inspiring author, but as much as I love talking to her and we can spend hours, days, weeks, years talking about books, I want to expand and talk to other people as well. My husband reads a lot. He loves Star Wars and Terry Pratchett. But that's about it, because he's going through the whole Star Wars back catalogue of pre-Disney books. And as some of you know, there's a lot of those. And he loves Terry Pratchett. He's read all the Terry Pratchett, but still. There's not many other people that I can talk to about books. I know my friend Dean might comment on this video going, me? Yes, Dean, I know I can talk to you about books. Was also a couple of people in the office, but they've retired or left, and now I'm bereft of people to talk about science fiction and fantasy with, so I want to make new friends. Second question, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? Well, I haven't got a clue. I just want to be another voice out there talking about books, really, if I'm being completely honest. I've watched Talking Story, Nerd Level Rising, Daniel Green, Bookish Chaz, The Bearded Book Beast, Tyrone. I've watched loads of booktubers and I thought, oh, I'd love to just sit down and talk to you and nerd over the books I've bought, because while nerding to my friend, I want to nerd to more friends. So I'm hoping I can maybe do some visits to local bookshops, maybe do some unboxings like I'm going to do tonight, and just general book chat and what I'm reading, and maybe engage with people about what they're reading and find new things to read, essentially is what it boils down to. What am I most excited about for this new channel? Basically meeting new people and just books. Our house is full of plants, books and crafting stuff. If it's one thing you know about us is I like books and stuff. Why do I love reading? I have quite an intense day job, and to me reading is an escape from that, also escape from the world on times. My genres are science fiction, fantasy, romantasy. I rarely read true life stuff. True life is life, and reading to me is an escape, and I love learning about new characters and the amazing worlds people come up with, and I just enjoy reading as a relaxing moment where I'm sitting in the car waiting for somebody, or I'm on my lunch. Pretty much if I'm not sewing or cross stitching, I'm reading. And yeah, I just love it. What book series got me into reading? I sat long and hard on this one, and I thought, well, everybody says Harry Potter, but I was into reading before Harry Potter. I grew up with a family that promoted reading quite heavily, and I was given or handed down 1970s copies of The Famous Five. I still have them on the bookshelf. I'll have to pull them down and show you at some point. And I absorbed those books, The Famous Five. I loved the adventures they got up to. I was brought up by my grandparents, so it made me closer to them because they seemed to be more of when they would have been children. And that evolved into more Enid Blyton And then I went and read, no, as you get older, you expand into things, and I found point horror. There was one particular one that stayed with me, something about a quarterback, and he had died, and the girlfriend was like haunting the other teammates. It was pretty cool. And then with a magazine, an L.J. Smith original book came out called The Night World. And that was my first introduction into, I don't know if it's called urban fantasy anymore, but it was back then. It was like YA, before YA and paranormal fantasy. It was like the early days of it. And I loved that book, and I bought all of them, and then the final book never got released. And then she lost the rights to, I think it's Vampire Diaries, which I never read, funnily enough. And then a ghostwriter took over her name, so I didn't really trust any of the other books being from her. I know she recently passed away, but she did actually finish the final Nightwall book herself, and it will be released, and I am so excited about that. I literally will be going back to 13-year-old me going, I still have the original books that I bought as a kid, and I will literally binge read them. They've probably dated by now, but those really got me into urban fantasy and werewolves and witches and vampires and, you know, all spooky things. And yeah, so that's kind of what series got me into reading. There's a question in this tag. What questions would you ask your booktube favourite? And I've come up with 5. That's a whole list of questions that I would like to ask a booktube favourite. So what I'm hoping to do maybe in my journey along BookTok or BookTube is maybe speak to other booktubers, and I'm going to keep these as interview questions. And that's as far as I got writing them into my lovely neat new book. So there's still more questions that I write down in a smaller book because, you know, book people, we love notebooks. What challenges do you think starting a channel will be hardest? Promoting myself and getting my videos out there. I already absorb content at a rate of knots, and I love watching everybody talk about books, and I find new books that way, but I'm a bit nervous when it comes to writing in the comments and getting engaged. So I think be patient with me as I launch this channel and I talk about books, because right now I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no idea how to review a book. I know how to talk about them and gush about how wonderful the books are, but I'm not sure my content's going to be very uniform, if that makes sense. So I think the challenge will be learning how to do this. The next question, when did I start reading? Well, I've always been reading. I probably about 5, I think I started reading Rupert Bear and Enid Blyton books. Every Christmas I get a Rupert the Bear annual, and I remember that's how I learned to read. And I think there was probably other kids' books or something, but those stick out in my mind. And I still have a stack of them hidden away. Where do I read? Anywhere. In bed, when I'm waiting in the car. I've been known to read in the shopping line on my Kindle and on my phone. If there's particular heavy queues in the supermarkets. At my mother-in-law, I'll read anywhere. If I've got a few minutes to absorb a page or two, I will read anywhere. And if it's on my Kindle, then I will absorb it quicker and be able to just chuck it in my pocket. I won't take my books out very often. What kind of books do I like to read? I read science fiction, I read fantasy, I read romantasy, light horror, but I'm exploring horror, I think. I've got a couple of books this year that look quite exciting. I've just got to sit down and read them. So that's, this is going to be fantasy, sci-fi, bit of romantasy as and when. What does my book collection look like? Utter chaos. if I'm completely honest with you, my book collection looks like utter chaos. Bookshelf, pack of books. You're on a pile of books. There are books here. I want to convert my spare room into my reading library. That's currently my son's room, so it has to be a library / guest room. So you might get to come along on that journey next year as I transform now not teenagers' bedroom and find the horrors of teenagehood stuffed under beds and God knows what. So that's the book tag done. I'm going to show you the book that I showed in the last video that is on this channel as my tester video. Now I think there's only about 2 views on it. But I don't care. I was quite chuffed that I managed to get that one out, but then I inevitably got stage fright. And I showed you the unboxing of this. E.L. McKinney Overlord. Now, I came across this on TikTok. She was talking about her book and how it was coming out. No, it wasn't this one, sorry. Overlord was Soul Stealer, not Overlord. It was this book. She was on TikTok talking about this book. It's book 1 in her epic fantasy series. I was like, I need to get back into reading all these amazing books, and I'm hoping that's what this channel's going to do for me, is I want to read these lovely books I bought. And this one came with a Soul Stealer bookmark. This is the blurb on the back. Well, I say the blurb. The high magic of the Wheel of Time combines with the gritty politics of a Game of Thrones in a thrilling epic fantasy series. 5 centuries, 3 peoples, 1 war. An endless feud between nations, sorcerers who steal souls to feed eternal life. A world so broken by magic that those who wield it are shunned and despised. Skilled hunter Iana hides a deadly secret. She has the dark god's powerful magic. Blamed for the genocide of her people 5 centuries ago, if anyone finds out, they'll execute her. When she learns that her lover's daughter has the same magic, she must decide whether to reveal her secret to save the child. But her decision will determine not only the child's fate, but that of the world, because the cycle of violence has begun again, and prophecy decrees she must be the one to end it. The alternative is the unravelling of all creation. Tell me that does not sound amazing. So I bought that, and if you want to see the unboxing, it's a previous video. So obviously I'm following this amazing author, and the next book to be released was Overlord, which is actually a prequel to Soul Stealer. So I was like, well, I've got to have that. The prequel to Soul Stealer, the award-nominated first book in the Unravelling series. Shackled by the past, imprisoned by the future. I won't read any more than that because I want to read that one first. But yeah, how beautiful is that cover? And it came with... Sorry, I'm wobbling you a bit. Again, came with a bookmark. And it came with an art card this time. How cool is that? So that arrived, super chuffed. I happily unboxed that. I didn't film a video. I wasn't in the frame of mind to go filming videos. And then I think it was about a month ago, I got an email, and I must have missed a couple of emails because it was like last chance to get a copy of book 2, Riftlander. So now I have 3 of these books to read, and this is the second book in the series. And again, I got 2 bookmarks this time. Comes a bookmark. And it came with another art card. Oh, you don't want the glare. Sorry, the lighting's not very good. It's about 6 o'clock at night. But how cute is that? Well, I say cute. How awesome is that? He looks well mean, if it's a he. So that gives me an idea of the type of creatures that are going to be in Riftlander. So yeah, these are going to be on my 2026 TBR. I follow the author on Instagram and TikTok. I will tag her below. So I think she's got a YouTube account. I could be wrong. But how gorgeous do they look? I can't wait to read these. Look at that. That's some good reading right there. So, obviously I've been planning to do this video for a couple of days. I've been writing lots of ideas down. Oh, each one came with a super cute card, by the way, with a little stamp on, and it's just thank you for supporting an indie author. A little note inside, and I think there was a discount code. So yeah, on my way home picking up tea tonight, I was in Asda's supermarket, and I wanted all the books on the shelf, but this one attracted my attention because look at that crow. And look at those painted edges. This is a gothic romance. I've never read a gothic romance before. This name rings a bell. Now, I've either got a book that I haven't read yet by this author, or it's an author on my radar that I want to read. I'll have to go through my notes. Yeah, I haven't read any of these yet. I'm just looking at the books and the inside cover. 12 years ago, Maven Blackthorne fled her small town, leaving behind the wreckage of her mother's suspicious death. But now drawn back to her grandmother's funeral, Maven steps into Blackthorne soil once more, only to find herself thrust into the fresh nightmare. Her grandmother's body has vanished. Tell me that does not sound absolutely intriguing. Really fancy it. So this is going on to the TBR. The TBR's up here. Yeah, J.T. Gessinger. Look, that cover's gorgeous. Lovely purple cover under the dust sheet. And then beautiful, beautiful sprayed edges. So, I don't display my sprayed edges, by the way. I literally display spine down because I want to know which book it is. I can't remember them all by sprayed edges. So that was my purchase on the way home. And then finally, a box arrived. Now, we've all been known to doom scroll TikTok, or some of us have been known to doom scroll TikTok or the social medias. And I came across a live video of a guy talking about his new book. Oh. And I was like, oh, tell me more about this book. And so he did. And it's about an ordinary guy going into, I think it's a magic school to find his brother. And they packaged it live on the live stream for me in cute Christmas wrap. So I need to learn how to package books like this as gifts for my family, because this thing is brilliant. And everybody's getting books this year. Comes a little Christmas card. Here's to a wonderful new chapter. So we're going to open this pretty quickly. It comes with 2 bookmarks because I was saying that I'm going to lend it to my friend, so he put a bookmark in for my friend, and it's Lockwood University. And here's the book. J.J. Faraday, Vanished. One brother vanished, the other must become a monster to find him. Roman Salisbury was the light in Noah Beach's world. Then the light went out. When Roman disappeared after being invited to Lockwood University, Noah forces his way into the school, determined to bring him home. But Lockwood is no ordinary university. It is a sanctuary for witches, wizards, werewolves, hidden behind prestige and ancient magic. To survive, Noah must turn every lie into a weapon and pull off the most dangerous con of his life, convincing the entire university that he's a vampire. How cool is that cover? And that is early, and it's signed. And that is going to be early 2026 TBR. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and have my tea. I'm going to edit this and we'll see if I hit upload to YouTube. And if you enjoy, please stick a like, maybe drop me a comment and say hello. And I will see you soon. Bye.